Students, in the last video, we stopped up to the problems, unemployment, the problems of overpopulation. So now we are going to see the next heading, housing and health. So nowadays, you can see, you might have seen definitely, people are living in apartment homes. Why? Because lacking of land and people are constructing the home one by one. So definitely because of overpopulation, will not be getting more land to construct building or home for these reason. So this is another problem facing by the overpopulated countries. And the standards of hygiene and nutrition will be definitely leads a lot of health issues because number of people in a world, a number of people in a country. So for according to that country's population, so agriculture should be equal. So they have to provide number of vegetables, fruits, and all kind of food products. So the pressurization for the agriculture sector, it will be increased, and definitely they'll be having a less immune power, less immune system. So due to this, the malnutrition, due to that, people will die. So these are the problems faced by the overpopulated countries. And the next thing, impact. So now what is the result? If we have overpopulation, so what is the result? The first consequences itself, depletion of a natural resource. Depletion means the reduction of a natural resource. Presently, whatever the natural resources the country is having, it will be completely used by the present generation people itself, the upcoming generation, that is you and in your future. So people cannot get the proper natural resources properly because everything has been used now in this generation itself. So inadequate or insufficient resource only you can see in your future. So these kind of problems will be there because of the overpopulation. So in the next heading, if you see, environmental hazards. So this environmental hazard is nothing but people will get definitely the pollution. Lot of pollution will be there because of overpopulation. That is starts from air pollution, land pollution, noise pollution. So because everyone wants to become urbanization. Urbanization means that is a total developed in all facility. So these kind of urban, the city regions will have lot of pollution. That pollution will create a lot of problems to the environment. So this is the another problem. And unemployment and poverty. Unemployment just we discussed, and the poverty is nothing but the people who is not able to feed their family even now one time of food in a family. So those people are comes below to the poverty line. So this will all be there. People, a number of population in a country means poverty, unemployment, everything will be there because of high cost of living due to the pressure of on the economy. The next thing is health and sanitation. Just we discussed, more land use and a poor infrastructure would lower the health condition. So lot and lot of people they will be throwing, because of course like our India, many countries are still developing, so they are still under the process of sanitation, and they are still following the rules and regulations of the government, but still hygienic, the trademark we have not yet reached. So these kind of people will have a mortality rate, definitely it will be increasing naturally. An imbalance in trade. So population, if it is more in a country, it doesn't mean that financial status also developed. So definitely people are more, but skillful employees or skillful people are very less in a particular country, so which leads imbalance in a trade. So as a result, what will happen, one country, the most populated country but very poor in skilled employees, skilled people, they will be importing things from the other countries. Understand? So importing means buying things from the other countries, but we cannot do any export. So when we are doing export, definitely we will increase in our financial status, but we are not doing the export, we are doing imports only. So naturally the imbalance in the trade, it will happen. So that's all about the impact of the overpopulation. Now we are going to see the next heading, that is underpopulation. Underpopulation is just opposite of the overpopulation. In one location, what is the actual amount of people should live if it is totally lesser than the actual population? So that is called underpopulation. For example, in 1 square kilometer, 1000 people can live comfortably, but just 100 people are there, which means that is very least amount of people, then that is only called underpopulation. So this is the meaning. And if you see in the down, the countries of underpopulated areas in the world. So here in the down you can see the countries names, that is Mongolia, Namibia, French Guiana, Australia, Iceland, Mauritania. So these are the countries which has very least amount of people. So why? What is the reason? So here underdeveloped people also having a lot of problems. So what is that? So now we will see one by one. The first heading itself, causes of underpopulation. So now we have to discuss what are the reasons behind the underpopulation. Why some countries are having a very least amount of people. What will be the reason? The first reason itself, it's fertility rate. Fertility rate will be very less, which means the birth rate. According to one particular location at a particular time, the fertility rate, which means the birth rate, is not happening. The birth rate is not increasing at all. Why? Because people are not happy to have a joint family. They are having a thinking of a standard of living, thinking of the cost of living. People are controlled in their family count, and the changed attitude towards to family planning, because one or two children is enough for one single family. So people started following that family planning, and the social roles of a female became more knowledgeable regarding to the feminism. So people, they wanted to do lot of things to the social, I mean to the public, and so these kind of some reasons behind it. So these are the reasons for the lesser for the uh, reasons for the very less fertility rate. So the next thing is emigration. So emigration I told already, which means people who is going away from their own country. So these are called emigration. Why people want to go away from their own country? Due to higher education or better job opportunities. So these are the reasons, or it can be any other reason also. So based on the emigration, we have two different factors, that is push factor and pull factor. Yes. Okay. So here you have to think the people who's attracted by some factors. Why we want to live in a city region? Why? That is all comes under pull factors, which means better institutions, better medical facilities, better job facilities. So these are called pull factors. Why I want to leave from my own country? So what are the reasons? Why do I want to leave my country? So these reasons comes under push factor, which means no proper job facility, no economical status in my country. So these are the reasons. So in either way of this movement always have a negative effect. So apart from that, what are the other reasons we are having? Disease. So nowadays the present situation I can tell you as an example. So nowadays we all are quarantined and isolated, lockdown, these kind of processes happening. Why? Because of some disease, it is spreading rapidly the whole world. So people always want to escape from the disease particularly. So they have to go away from the particular diseased area. So this is also one of the reason why some countries are having very least population. And famine, which means the scarcity of food. One family is not having a one time of proper food, so that is called a famine. So these kind of things will happen only if they are not economically not developed. Understand? So here we are going to see the next heading, that is problems of underpopulation. You may think overpopulation will lead lot of problem, but we are not having some countries are not having more population, but what kind of problems those people will be faced? Of course they are also having a lot of problem, that is uneven distribution of population. So you just imagine 1 square kilometer 2-3 people are living. After so many kilometers another 2-3 people will be living. So this kind of some a random settlement of a people that will not be that will be very difficult to connect to each other. So that is only called remoteness also. So people cannot contact to anyone that easily. So these kind of things are called, these are the reasons, these are the problems of underpopulated countries. And underutilization of resources, which means these underdeveloped countries may have some proper natural resources, but due to very less skillful knowledgeable people living there, so they are not understanding how to use the natural resources. So the wasting, they are actually wasting, literally wasting the natural resources. They don't know how to use that properly, how to use the natural resources. They are not aware of it. So in that way, the problems will be created. Agricultural resources will be, people are not knowing how to create, how to make a land into proper fertile, and these kind of problems will be there. And slow growth of industry. So as I said already, very least people, and within that least people, one or two will be skillful, knowledgeable person. So that very short people, they don't know how to improve the industry. So the naturally industrialization will be very very less in the underpopulated countries. So when there is no industrialization, naturally, economically, financially, that country will not be developed so easily. So these are the other reasons. And climatic problems. So people will be having a lot of climatic conditions, extreme level of temperature. So that is also can be a reason for the underpopulated, because if the country is having full and full temperature or always cold temperature, so these kind of countries cannot have uh, more population. So that is also one of the reason. So now we are moving to the next heading, that is impact of underpopulation. So what kind of result if we have a underpopulation? So far we discussed the problems, the reasons and all. So now we are going to see what kind of result if we have a underpopulation. The first one itself, unstable economy, which means people want the product, even that may be a demandable product, but very cheaply, the cheap rated amount only they have to offer for the most demanded products also, because it is very least people know. So the demand for the goods and service, it will not be more at all. So decrease in the demand for the goods and service, and that is called deflation. So even any kind of product we can get it in a very cheap amount. So this is called unstable economy. And the next one is labor shortage. So shortage means very less. So we will not be having a most skillful employees to run one particular industry. So when there is no industrialization, then definitely economical wise they will be less. The growth of the country, it will not happen. And the next point we will see, decrease in pollution, which means this is the one and only positive impact of underpopulated, because no population. So when there is no population, pollution also will be decreased. So there is no water pollution, there is no air pollution, noise pollution. So that is the one and only positive impact of the underpopulation. Students, finally I want to make you understand the conclusion of this countries, what kind of country we should have, whether we are having underpopulation or uh, overpopulation. So both these kind of populations are dangerous to a country. Definitely we have to maintain, it should not be more, and at the same time it should not be very less also. The country should have a average and moderate amount of people, because then only people can use their natural resources, and they can have a better lifestyle and healthy lifestyle and high standard of living and good quality of life. Okay, now in the next video we will see the remaining.